All right, so I got my new ARP studs ready to go in. I got my torque wrench set to 100 inch-pounds. It's also important when you're bolting down a bolt into a blind hole like this that you blow that out and get it really dry. What can happen is oil can get trapped in there and act like a hydraulic. As you push the bolt down, that oil has nowhere to go and it'll pop through, crack your head. That used to happen a lot of the twin cams with the breather in there, but that breather was really close to the outside of the rocker box on the hit. So when you put that bolt in there, if there was any oil left in there, that oil gets trapped and it acts like a hydraulic, and pow, pumps out the side of your rocker box and you'll have a leak out there. I'm going to put some red thread locker on this, drive it in there, and go through the rest of them. I'll put a little anti-seize on my spark plugs. Same thing with the ACRs, 18 to 22 foot-pounds. There's the spark plug. Back to my handy dandy tool for the ACR. Now I got all the rocker studs changed on the front jug. Nuts tightened down. 100 inch-pounds for the stud into the head, and 21 foot-pounds for the nuts onto the stud for the rocker shaft. Look a lot better. I gotta believe that keyway cut into the top of the stud weakened that material, and through expansion and contraction, I might have caused those threads to fail, or it was just an inferior metal or an inferior hardening process. But I feel a lot better with the ARP studs in there. See, there's the difference between the S&S stud with the nut on it, and the ARP stud with the nut on it. I'll adjust my valves, put the rocker box cover back on, and move on to the rear jug. I've been hearing a lot of stuff about the ACRs backing out, the spark plugs backing out, rocker bolts coming loose on stock Harley Davidsons. A lot of different things have been happening, and the interesting thing is that when you get your hands on all this stuff, like in this case, I'm using these ARP studs that I got directly from ARP. It's not a kit that I got from, another vendor, and they're saying, that it's a high quality product. I know what it is. I know who ARP is. It's a kind of synchronicity that you get with your machine. And when something happens to it, you know exactly what it is. Like it used to be with carburetors, with Venturi, main jets, idle jets. When you start messing with AFRs, like air to fuel ratio and vacuum signal, big cams, you know exactly how these different things are operating. It just kind of puts you in tune with your machine, and it makes for a really interesting connection, not only with your machine, but also with the nature and the things around you in the atmosphere. That's just kind of a really cool experience. And I think that's pretty much what everybody can relate to when we talk about riding motorcycles.